The Queen last night reassured tens of millions of Britons and her subjects around the world about her health during an enthusiastic and energetic appearance at the first of her National Platinum Jubilee celebrations, but royal aides also admitted she now has good and less good. Her Majesty lifted the nation's spirits and received cheers and a standing ovation from the crowd at the spectacular finale to the Royal Windsor Horse Show, her second visit there in the past 3 days. The 96-year-old looked full of joy last night as she watched an all-star lineup including Dame Helen Mirren, Tom Cruise and Katherine Jenkins perform at the event alongside equestrian, military and musical talent from all over the world. It also bodes well for the official weekend of Jubilee events in June, when it is anticipated she will attend a service of thanksgiving for her remarkable 70-year reign and make her traditional appearance on the Buckingham Palace balcony at Trooping the Colour. It is unlikely she will attend many other events, however, as palace aides admit she has good and less good days. The Queen has been forced to cancel a string of engagements in recent months and last week missed the state opening of Parliament for the first time ever due to age or infirmity, symbolically asking her son, the Prince of Wales, and grandson, the Duke of Cambridge, to stand in for. But royal aides insist that despite what they describe as episodic mobility issues, the monarch is in good spirits and very much in charge behind the scenes, undertaking several meetings each week in addition to her familiar red boxes of official. Her appearance last night, following her first visit to the horse show on Friday to watch some of her beloved animals compete, will give succor to her, making her second public appearance in 3 days. The 96-year-old was greeted with an ovation at the event, which had been running since Thursday night, and was all smiles as she made her way to her seat in the organizers of the event at Windsor Castle, entitled A Gallop Through History, had always hoped the Queen would attend as their guest of honor. But given her recent mobility issues, nothing was confirmed until the 11th hour last night. Cruise, who is in Britain promoting his new film Top Gun: Maverick and was mobbed by fans upon his arrival, was at the event in Windsor to introduce what he said was one of the most enthralling, thrilling, heart-in-mouth displays as he announced a performance by the King's Troop Royal Horse Art. However, Cruise also faced criticism on social media for using the event to plug his new film, which he spoke about during an interview with Philip Schofield and Julie Etchingham at the celebratory evening. The Queen reached the event by car with an escort from the household cavalry as the national anthem was played. She handed her now familiar walking stick to a member of the greeting party as she carefully eased herself down from her Range Rover, in which she was accompanied by her youngest son, Princess. The elderly monarch smiled broadly at the welcome and had clearly dressed for the occasion in an ice blue sequined dress, around which she had draped a grey embellished wrap. The Queen then carefully made her way to her seat in the royal box, flanked by Simon Brooks Ward, 57, a territorial army officer and friend of the royals, away from the glare of the camp. Although footage from the royal box was limited during the performance, the Queen was seen laughing and smiling with other guests. Her appearance will reassure the public given widespread concern about Hollywood. A-lister Cruise said it is a real honor and privilege to be a part of the Queen's Platinum Jubilee celebration. He said, "What she has accomplished is historic. She has met presidents, world leaders, people from all walks. Not just Americans, but the world knows the dignity, devotion and kindness. That is what I have always felt, someone that understands her position and has held it through a history that's just been extraordinary the past 70 years." Last night's gala show, which featured more than 1,300 performers, 600 horses, children's choirs, a 75-piece orchestra and stars from stage and screen, was always going to be something the Queen would have been desperate not to miss. Different eras of British history were enacted on stage as part of the show. Dame Helen Mirren, who has played both Queen Elizabeths on TV and film, reprised her role as the Tudor Adjoa Andoh, who plays Lady Danbury in the Netflix period drama Bridgerton, also had a role, as did Homeland actor Damian Lewis and Doc Martin star Martin. Dame Joan Collins appeared on film to pay tribute. But the star of the show, aside from the Queen herself, was undoubtedly Hollywood star Tom. Earlier, Cruise had walked among the crowds at Windsor and said he was looking forward to the extravaganza. In an interview with ITV, Cruise said he didn't hesitate for a second when asked to take part. "It is a wonderful event and I feel very privileged to be here. I was very honored. She is just a woman I greatly admire. She is someone who has tremendous dignity. I admire her devotion and what she has accomplished." Cruise recalled meeting Prince Philip at a charity event. He said, "He was telling me a wonderful story about how he got the first helicopter into Buckingham Palace during the coronation. A fantastic story." Singer Katherine Jenkins described being part of the Platinum Jubilee as a massive honor and said it would be an opportunity to show our deep gratitude to the Queen for her decades of. Comedian Omid Jalili said, "Anyone watching this show, even if they're a staunch Republican or if they're a royalist, they will feel pride in being. She is a woman I greatly admire." There was continued applause in the stands as the Queen eased herself down to watch the ceremony, entitled A Gallop Through History, with the help of a walking stick, allaying health fears over her mobility. She was joined by the Earl and Countess of Wessex for the show that reflected her lifelong passion for horses. A tri-service Guard of Honor featuring the Coldstream Guards, RAF Regiment and Royal Navy was also in place for the Queen's arrival, which was signalled by the national anthem being played by military musicians. Philip Schofield and Julie Etchingham hosted the much-anticipated show staged close to Windsor Castle, the same location as Her Majesty's Golden Jubilee, Diamond Jubilee and 90th birthday. During the televised event, Prince Charles said about his mother, the Queen, "She has always coped with so many different challenges and always being there in a remark." The ceremony was staged by the Royal Windsor Horse Show, which has been welcoming spectators for the past 3 days, including the monarch, who spent part of her Friday touring the showgrounds after earlier missing the state opening of Parliament. Dame Helen, who won an Oscar for her portrayal of the Queen in the film of the same name, played Queen Elizabeth I as the show began by chronicling the events of the First Elizabethan age, from the attempted invasion of the Spanish Armada to leading figures of the day like William. The Herald, played by Omid Jalili, narrated the performance and took viewers through time, with each act reflecting on key moments in history, including Elizabeth I's Tilbury speech and James I and the gunpowder. Adjoa Andoh, who plays Lady Danbury in the Netflix period drama Bridgerton, also had a role, as did Homeland actor Damian Lewis and Doc Martin star Martin. Dame Joan Collins and comedy duo Anton Deck also appeared on film to pay tribute. The Commonwealth and the 4 nations of the United Kingdom were celebrated, and there was military and equestrian displays from around the world, including Azerbaijan, India, Oman, France, Norway, Switzerland, and Trinidad and Tobago. Music for the evening was provided by a 75-piece orchestra, with special performances from Alice Edel, Gregory Porter, and Katherine Jenkins. Other guests included Andrew Lloyd Webber, Anton Deck, Dame Joan Collins and Sir David Jason, who each paid tribute to the Queen's 70 years. Meanwhile, the Queen appeared to enjoy Trinidad and Tobago Defence Force's steel drum display of ABBA classic Dancing Queen during her Platinum Jubilee celebration. The troupe, dressed in white suits with green helmets, played a rhythmic version of the classic disco anthem, which appeared to amuse the Queen, who was wrapped in a blue shawl with a blanket. The monarch, who is celebrating 70 years on the throne, later clapped wildly after a drum-off between the top-secret drum corps, who played at her 90th birthday celebrations, and the Royal Marines. The display included juggling and twirling of drumsticks, which later were set alight. Cruise introduced what he said was one of the most enthralling, thrilling, heart-in-mouth displays as he announced a performance by the King's Troop Royal Horse Artillery. He said, "It takes huge courage and discipline to do what they do, galloping with guns that were fired in the battles of the First World War, weighing 1.5 tons. The drive demonstrates absolute trust between horse and rider." The crowd clapped in time to the music as an orchestra played and the horses galloped around. The Queen appeared enthralled, showing gleeful smiles as her own horses were led around the open-air arena in Windsor to celebrate her Platinum Jubilee. TV presenter Alan Titchmarsh said, "For 70 years there has been one constant heartbeat of this nation, and that heart belongs to Her Majesty the Queen." As Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, head of the Commonwealth, leader of the nation we are proud. We sometimes forget that our head of state is actually a person, feels as we do, enjoys the things we do, and is very much a mother, grandmother and great-grandmother as well as being our monarch. The Queen appeared to comically shrug at that moment. Later on the evening, the ceremony paid tribute to the late Duke of Edinburgh and his love of carriage driving as his granddaughter Lady Louise Windsor drove his exercise carriage around the arena. As the monarch appeared to Titchmarsh added, "One of Her Majesty's personal pleasures is horses and ponies in all their guises. One thing the Queen takes great happiness from is her family's involvement in her love, whether it be racing, eventing, showing rare breeds or just riding out in winter."